If you've ever waited until the night before a field op or a camping trip to pack, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that stuff helps me out. The comment section is kind of lit right now, so keep doing your thing. I enjoy seeing what you guys say, as insane as it is sometimes. I don't have a Patreon. If you want to support me, buy my belt from Alonzo Defense Group. Orders are just about filled out for everybody. Or the shirt, the Thought Vaccine shirt. Discount code is Garand, only works for the belt, I'm pretty sure. We also have Freedom Munitions, who's helped us out for quite a while. Again, I've shot their ammunition this entire time, but now they're supporting me, giving us ammunition, and they give you guys a discount code, which is Garand, 5% off, or 10, somewhere right around there. I don't know, people say it's freaking lit. Get in there, get that discount, get some ammo, and say thank you to Freedom. A lot of crazy people out there, but at least in the United States, we have the opportunity to carry a lot of things, be prepared. So today's video is going to be on everyday carry. A lot of people have been asking me about what I carry personally, because they want to kind of know what they should carry. Now, realize that I'm not an expert on this. You know, the real experts are putting out these crazy classes you can pay tons of money for. But I'll tell you what I carry, kind of give you guys a primer for what I've seen that works for me, and then you're going to have to kind of tailor it to yourself. Realize that everybody's going to be different. Everybody's job requires them to carry something slightly different, or due to certain restrictions like military, I feel you guys, sometimes we're not able to carry firearms. So let's kind of talk about this. So to start off with, talking about off-base carry for me. So when I'm not on post, when I'm going out into town, having a good time, getting lit, what am I carrying? What am I wearing? So first off, I like to start with a good pant or something like that. Of course, flannel, right? Every time. But for the pants, usually I prefer something not kind of generic or store-bought, because a lot of times the loops on those belts aren't as reinforced, and they don't hold up gun belts and guns and that type of thing as well. So two pants that I typically use, I use the 511 jeans. I know, but they work pretty good. They have really wide belt loops, and they work really well, and they look pretty good. And then also my personal favorite, which are the Tactical Distributors pants, the Carlos Ray or their Neptune pants. Any of those are really good. I prefer the Carlos Ray. I think they look really sharp, as you'll see right here as I put it up. Oh man, it's a good pant right there. But anyhow, so start with a good pant first off. That's fashionable and stylish, because again, if you don't look cool, yeah, nothing else matters. It's kind of like a kid's show. Like when I say it, you say it. We'll talk more about pants later, but the point is that they have enough pockets. They don't look like super tack-to-douchey if I'm wearing them out in town. Again, you don't want to scream that you conceal carry if you are conceal carrying. You want to just look normal and be able to blend in and look cool and that type of thing, and get the ladies for those of you who are single, even though you probably won't. So those pants rock. We'll talk about those in a second, but now the question is kind of the main piece, which is firearm. So what am I carrying? What holster am I using? What gun am I using? So without a doubt, my favorite holster for the last about 7 months or so has been the T-Rex Arm Sidecar. There's nothing for me that's been quite as comfortable or that has carried as well, that has put the gun at a good angle, ease of draw, all that kind of stuff. Conceal carries really well. Now in the case of mine, it's cut a little bit lower, even though I'm carrying a Glock 19. And that is because sometimes, from time to time, I will carry the Roland Special upper on the Glock, and then I need a little bit more space for that comp and that type of thing. But most of the time, I'm just carrying a simple Glock 19, not that simple. I am using a barrel from Triarch Systems. Why? Because I'm testing it out, and also because it freaking rocks and it's awesome. I've done a whole video on Glocks already, but suffice to say, I have my dad's, Haley Strategic sights on there. It's the 13 sights in Elite Speak, and then I have a Surefire X300U. Regarding having a light on a concealed carry weapon, I've seen a lot of people way smarter than me who have been in tons of gunfights, and they say, hey, when it comes to a concealed carry weapon, there's really no point to a weapon mounted light, because if you have to do ID a target with your light, you're drawing your gun on somebody, that's kind of a legal kind of problem right there and that type of thing. And they say most of the time you're firing really close, and it's not really that, you really don't need it. And I understand those arguments, and I see them. I'm a little bit more of a kind of obsessive compulsive, I want to be prepared for any type of scenario type guy. So I carry a light. I understand the argument against it. You don't have to carry a light on your gun. If anything, at least carry a light. But in any case, I like having a light on my gun. It doesn't really add that much weight. It's really not that hard to carry on my body, so I keep it on my concealed carry weapon. But I do understand the argument for not needing it. So Glock 19 as well, you can see that I carry a extra mag in addition to the mag that I would have in the gun. Regarding carry ammunition, hollow points, FMJs, whatever theory you subscribe to on what ammunition you think is best, go ahead and go with that. I'm not going to talk too much about ammunition at this point. But yes, I do carry an extra magazine. Am I expecting to get in a huge gunfight? No. But part of EDC is being prepared. So we're prepared for a lot of different scenarios. Not to say I'll probably ever need it. I've never had to engage anybody with my concealed carry weapon or even draw my concealed carry weapon. So take that for what it's worth. All right, so we have the gun out of the way. Another important thing that I like to have with my concealed carry or with my everyday carry is some type of Leatherman or multi-tool. So we have my, that didn't work, there we go. We have my trusty Leatherman Wave. I've talked about this in the past, not gonna harp on it too much, but suffice to say that you should have a Leatherman of some type. Has a whole lot of tools that are useful, knives, saws, whatever you could possibly need. So I almost always have this on me, and you'd be well advised to have one for yourself. Again, I prefer Leatherman. This is Leatherman Wave. There are multiple others out there, and again, I'm kind of partial to this, probably because I did so much training and used this thing, and it really has proven itself very reliable for me. So Leatherman. Now, besides the Leatherman, sometimes you might want to carry a knife additionally to that. Now, for me, if I'm on base, I'm not able to carry my Glock 19. I'm not a Leo. I'm not a part of that whole Leosa thing. So I typically carry an extra knife. Now, how useful is it? I don't know. We're not going to really get into the debate of using a knife on an active shooter or anything like that. But the point is it makes me feel better about myself, so I carry a knife. Typically, I carry some type of folder. In this case, I have the assisted folder from SOG, the Kiku or whatever it's called. This is the one that I've been carrying for about the last year or so, not because I think it's like the best blade in the world. In fact, usually I don't like SOG blades a whole lot, but this one has kind of grown on me. I like the assist, it was free and all that kind of stuff, so this is what I use. There are many great knives out there. So besides the SOG, we have the Hogue. This is kind of a more of a workhorse type knife. It's not spring assist or anything like that. You just flip it open yourself. It's from Hogue. It is the EX-02. It's kind of a giant knife. I do like it quite a bit. And then if you're looking to go for something a little bit smaller to make your hands look bigger, we also have something Grind. This is a Spider Monkey. Really good steel on this knife. Probably one of the most expensive blades that I have on the table right here. But really nice steel. You'll be well served with it. But yeah, fortunate company name. So we talked a little bit about our knives. You always need a knife. A knife is a great tool to have on you. You never know when you need it. I use them all the time for just various things, cutting, and how I've used them to clear weapons and that type of thing. So have a knife on you, or at the very least, have a Leatherman. Always have a Leatherman. All right, so we've talked about guns, knives, kind of stuff that's not really, that's more for ourselves, kind of offensive and tools and that type of stuff. The other big thing I think with everyday carry is being prepared to help others or possibly help yourself. So there have been certain events that have happened pretty recently that have kind of pointed out the need that you should carry medical gear. If you haven't been carrying medical gear, I understand it's not a thing that's on a whole lot of people's mind, but you should really consider carrying some type of med kit or at the very least a tourniquet or something on you. Now remember, all of this stuff is useless unless you have the training and the skills to back it up. So make sure that you practice. Otherwise, this stuff's not going to help you. So one med kit that I always carry, and again, shameless plug for one of my favorite companies, which is ITS Tactical Solutions. ITS Tactical, Imminent Threat Solutions. They make some great stuff. In this case, this is their EDC med kit. Pretty simple. It's quick clot gauze, so hemostatic agent, so something that helps stop bleeding. You also have a soft T tourniquet, which I'm a big fan of. Really, they work incredibly well. And then finally, a pair of nitrile gloves. So all this together makes for a really nice little package. It has a little tear packet right there, so you can easily open it up. It's sterile, all that good stuff. I've carried this for a long time. Big fan of it. I would definitely recommend it. Also has a little combat casualty care under fire. Note card on the back, just a little something you can read on when you're in the bathroom. So great little package right there. Now, if you're not going to carry this, at the very least, carry a tourniquet. Incredibly flat, almost, I mean, a little bit larger than the blade right here, but really not that big. Easy to fit in the back pocket or something. Carry something The cats, those are really good tourniquets. I know my medics are gonna hop in here like any minute, just come busting in through the ceiling and they'll be like, oh man, I carry like 5 Halo chest seals and XYZ, and that's great, and those medics are awesome, but just for me, everyday carry, I'm trying to be kind of honest with myself, and I'm not gonna carry that much. So at the very least, I carry this, but if you're not gonna carry that, at least have a tourniquet or something, guys, to control bleeding, because that's gonna kill people pretty quick. So besides that, get medical training. All right, now, as far as some more obvious items that I have on me are going to be things like keys. I have a little key ring from Exotac because I like that company quite a bit. I've talked about their fire starters a little bit. Of course, I have a junky old Toyota 2000 Tundra. Great truck. It's at like 250,000 miles. Why change if it works, right? And it looks cool. So I got my key ring right there. Wallet, I know someone's going to hop in here with some crazy wallet at some point, but yes, I know my wallet's kind of old. I've had it since I was like 15, but it's a simple leather wallet. It doesn't break, it's thick, it's big, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's proven to be reliable, and that's what matters. And I carry way too much stuff in my wallet. So we have wallets. Another thing is going to be, of course, watches. So the question is, why carry a watch when I have something like a phone or something like that? Because can't the phone give me the time anyhow? Yes, but if you're a socially savvy person, pulling out your phone and checking time in front of somebody, especially during a conversation, can be rude. It's a lot easier to surreptitiously check your watch. Plus, a watch is a status symbol as well. So having a nice watch or having a watch appropriate for the situation means a lot. And if you're in more of a military type situation, a watch is extremely critical because you're likely not going to have a phone on you to check time, that type of stuff, for light discipline reasons and all that crap. Not to get too much into it. But anyhow, I have 3 main watches that I kind of wear. And I'm kind of a watch guy, so bear with me. So of course my main watch is my G-Shock, which I always wear. I wear it backwards. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that at some point. But G-Shock, and the G-Shock that I have is the DW9052. What can I say about this? It's shock resistant, bomb proof. It's been covered in ocean water, blood, vomit, other people's vomit, dried vomit, whatever you can think of, crap, trash, just everything. This thing just never dies. It's powered by quartz movement. The batteries on these last extremely long. The only problem I have had with the G-Shocks is that these little edges right here tend to peel off of the screws after wearing it for quite a while. So I'm about 4 years in with this watch, and it's starting to show its age a little bit, but these watches really do last forever. They're not that expensive. I think you can find them on Amazon for like 45 or 50 bucks, and this thing is awesome. Now I know that there are better tactical watches out there. I was at a thing recently, and I talked to some guys who had some really sick watches that had like anti-reflective coatings and stuff, and I'm sure there are. I'm sure those guys are gonna hop in with their favorite watches and something like that, or a Sunto or something like that, or Sunto, however the hell you say it. But I prefer my G-Shocks. All right, G-Shock watches. Now, G-Shock watches aren't, you can't really dive with them. So if you're looking to do any type of diving duty, one of my favorite watches that I have right here, probably one of the more handsome watches that I have, is the Marathon T-SAR. So this watch is awesome. I love it. It's a little bit heavy, it's a little bit hefty, but this thing, again, like the G-Shock, it's bomb-proof. I've used it in military duty, again, covered in blood, vomit, all that kind of stuff, and it works great. It is rated to 300 meters, so 1,000 feet as far as its capability, so it is a dive watch to some extent or another. It has tritium vials all along the time and on the hour and minute hands. Love this watch, can't say enough about it. I'm going to do a couple little zoom in shots on this. You can see that this thing's a little bit jacked up. It's taken some beatings. It's gotten some sides gouged out of it. That's from when it came off of a Humvee going like 70 over, not 70, let's say like 50 over tarmac, something like that. It got a little jacked up when it hit the ground, but it survived and it continues to tick. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of getting the battery sent to me because the battery recently died, but it did last me for like a solid 3 years before that. So bad timing, get it? Bad dad joke on that, but I do love the Marathon watch. A couple of things to note about it. This band is not what usually comes with it. I think it's a 22 or 20 millimeter NATO band. I bought it because James Bond wears a band just like that, and James Bond is the epitome of cool. Therefore, we're rocking this. So again, this uses a quartz movement, extremely accurate. You can see my watch geekness coming out just a little bit. Marathon. Can't recommend this watch enough. They're a little bit more expensive. They're costing, I think, around $300 or $400 or something around there. So we have kind of two kind of more tactical watches. You can wear, I mean, both of these out in the town, but honestly, sometimes it's nice to just look good. You know what I'm saying? Just have a good looking watch that you can wear something a little bit more fancy. Now, there's a lot of watches out there. Obviously, you have Rolex. Personally, E4, balling on a budget. Not going to be dropping, you know, 8-9 grand on a nice, you know, Rolex Submariner or something like that. Citizen watches are also nice, but one company that I've come to love has been Vincero. So they have just kind of a cool little collection of watches. So they're kind of direct to consumer watches. Kind of a smaller company, but they make some really handsome watches. We'll zoom in on this. There's a ton of different, you know, varieties and styles of black bands and all that type of stuff. What I like about them is they use a quartz movement, so it's incredibly accurate. I haven't had this thing lose any seconds on me yet. I've had it for about 2 months now, so not terribly long. Another thing about it is you have a scratch-resistant lens, so that thing's not going to get scratched up and look terrible. It's water-resistant to rain. I'm not going to take this on anything crazy, anything like that. Again, it's just to look nice when I'm wearing something nice. You do have luminous hands, and then finally the band is Italian leather. Vincero, can't say enough about them. Really have been digging the style on these, so great watch there. Finally, the last thing that we'll talk about is a light. You can use the light on your cell phone, yes, but batteries die because you're using your cell phone all the time. Typically, you're not using this all the time, so definitely recommend getting some type of light. The one that I use, what is it, Gh3 combat light. So I prefer this one. You never know when you're going to need to search for something. You drop something on the ground, the cell phone light's not enough, or XYZ. Having a standalone light is a great idea. So in this case, Surefire is kind of my go-to. There's other ones you can use. Streamlight, my buddy really likes his Streamlights, but I've just always been a fan of Surefire, so kind of go with what you decide works for you. All right, finally, when it comes to the pants, as you can see, 511s, they look good, they hold up well and all that type of stuff. And the Carlos Ray pants from Tactical Distributors also looks good. As far as my belt, I'm using the belt that I helped design with Alonzo Defense Group. I've already done a video on this, so I'm not going to talk too much to it, other than we use scuba webbing, super abrasion resistant, super stiff, holds up a gun easy. Also looks good with a suit or on tactical gear. So big fan of this, obviously. If you want to buy it, discount code GURANTHEM at Alonzo Defense Group. All right, so that kind of finishes it up, guys. Hope you learned a little bit something about everyday carry. I'm sure you have a lot more to add. There are a whole bunch of things that you can carry on you. In any case, find something that works for you. Feel free to comment what you use down in the comments. I know you guys have a lot to say about this. What matters is that you look cool. So find yourself a good watch, find yourself a good gun, good med kit, good pants, and all that comes together and makes you look super cool and all that kind of stuff. Take care, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for next Tuesday when we have our videos that release all the time. So